So we've got about 50 law enforcement personnel back here in the park. This is kind of an opening to more than 25,000 acres that are over here into the Carlton Reserve. So obviously it's a vast area. Seems like that's nothing new in this case, but that's what's going on here. We got 5 different local agencies, including the FBI, helping us with it.
What is the hope that Brian is actually out here still, especially since the parents haven't seen him allegedly since Tuesday?
We're hopeful. We're hopeful that he's, out here. Certainly we prepare for all different possibilities, but our goal is to locate him and bring him back to Northport.
What makes you think it's this area that he might be in?
His family says that this is a place that he frequents. They also believe that this is where he came. And again, this is according to them.
And does he like to hike in this area? Like, what does he do here?
That's my understanding. That's what they believe that he came out here on Tuesday.
And what exactly did they tell you about what happened on Tuesday? Was it in the evening? Like he walked out? Did he say anything to his parents?
He had his backpack. He said that this is where he was coming.
And did he say why?
Not that I'm.
Why did they wait until
Not that I know.
Why did they wait until yesterday to tell you that this?
That's a great question. We've obviously been trying to reach the family and them to get answers in this case since Saturday. The first time that we've had any in-depth full conversation with them was yesterday. Their attorney called and said the family is concerned about Brian's whereabouts. They would like to file a missing persons report.
Has the federal agency aided in any way with regards to cell phone tracking?
Of course.
Does that bring you here along with what the parents say?
I do not believe that's what brought us here. I believe that we're acting. Some of that stuff takes time to get all of that. We've been working on that for basically where they've been for the last 3 weeks. So certainly over the last 12 hours, I don't know that we've been able to triangulate that, if you will. But we are certainly, at this point, we're going by their word. We're going by the family's word of where they think that he's at. We believe that his vehicle may have been here too.
And when the family said yesterday that he had been missing since Tuesday, did they say that he was here yesterday, or is this something they just told you guys today?
They said the last time they saw him is when he came here.
You mentioned his vehicle. What about the vehicle? Was the vehicle found on site?
It was not.
It was not. Where was the vehicle found?
It was at the laundry's home.
At their home?
Yes.
Well, you said that they thought that he was in his vehicle.
Right.
So, I mean, if it was at their house, why would they think that?
I mean, look, we're going by their word. We believe that vehicle did make its way from here back to that house.
Do we think his skills could maybe be more of a challenge since he's used to being outdoors and it's so rugged out here? Could he be deeply affected?
Yeah, I mean, these are people that were living off the grid in different areas. I don't know how frequently if he would come out here and do, day-long hikes or whatever. I mean, it's you could be out here for months if you wanted.
You've got the vehicle tracked here and then he found it back home. Is there any indication that there might be somebody aiding him in his attempts to evade?
Well, any indication?
Any indication that maybe there'd be somebody else that brought
I mean,
the
I
car
think,
back?
we have to go by what they're telling us at this point. Certainly, we are looking at, to corroborate all of the information we've received.
And what day did the vehicle leave the house and what day did it return? Was that all on Tuesday?
I believe it was Tuesday. I actually, as far as it coming here, I do not know the date that it was returned.
And what type of vehicle was it?
I believe, we're getting into some things that I think I certainly have not had a conversation about what I can say and what I can't. But we know the answer to that.
With the search effort, this is thousands of acres and heavily wooded. What obstacles are you guys facing out here?
Well, you just named it, right? I mean, it's wooded, it's been wet, it's hot, but, we have drones up, we have four-wheelers, and we've got 50 people who are used to dealing with these types of elements. I mean, most of these folks are from Florida and know what it's like.
And it sounds like something could have probably solved a lot quicker if people would just talk to you. It seems like they're going in
you
circles
got the
here.
good questions today.
It's a family, I guess.
Yeah.
Or if he's even watching this, what would you say? I mean, it's like
Sure.
a bunch of questions.
Well, I mean, this is where we're at. I mean, that's the bottom line. Our job is, Brian is a resident of this community. Brian was not a suspect in a crime. Brian was a person of interest and a missing person. You know, we're not following him everywhere he's going. You know, there's been some of that, you know, that conversation floating out there, and that's just not how it works.
Could you tell us how it works, for those that don't know?
No, I can't tell you exactly how it always works, but you know, what I know is that, you know, were we trying to keep an eye out kind of where he's at so that when needed we could, you know, potentially reach him? Yes. But, you know, our focus was putting resources on trying to find Gabby. We knew that look, Brian wasn't willing to talk. That was abundantly clear. We were attempting. So we were putting our resources on trying to find Gabby. We knew we would deal with Brian eventually, but this is certainly a twist.
Is there any concern, especially since the parents withheld this information, that this could be just another decoy, maybe a way to throw you off for a little bit while he moves on?
Well, I'll leave that speculation to you guys. You know, don't forget, I mean, you know, I don't know. I've never had a missing child in my life, but I think you get to, you know, a point of concern, whether that be a day, 2 days, 3 days. I think that depends on the individual and the circumstances. Remember, I mean, you know, Gabby's parents, it was a significant amount of time before they became concerned. You know, I can't fully answer that.
And did the parents say anything about Gabby last night, or did they only want to talk about Brian?
Their attorney was on the phone with us and, you know, was giving them counsel as we spoke, and all of the conversation was only about the whereabouts of Brian.
Is there any chance Gabby's with him?
No, I have no information that is.
So you mentioned
Even
earlier
likely.
today there was canines out there. They had some articles of clothing. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah,
that?
so we've received a couple questions overnight about, you know, there was some things taken out of the home yesterday during the, you know, this missing person investigation, and those were articles of clothing for our canines to be able to get a scent.
And for those that keep asking, you know, he was a person of interest, you wanted to talk to him, but he wouldn't communicate at all, he didn't want to talk to you guys at all. For those thinking, why not just arrest him or bring him in and force him to talk to you? What that?
We don't have a crime. You know, we're looking for somebody. You know, I mean, that's it. I mean, we can't go just pulling people in. He certainly has the Fifth Amendment not to speak, and you know, we're respectful of that. We get it. We're frustrated. Just a couple more, please. I'm sure I could stay here all day.
Fifth Amendment right?
That's a technical question. I think that's accurate. When you go to the door and you say we'd like to, are you willing to speak with us about what's going on? And they say, here's the name and number for our attorney. I mean, I don't know if they actually said that, physical words of that. But
Can you tell us the name of the attorney?
that's been widely publicized. I don't have
any
that.
chance that the family thinks he's suicidal?
I don't know that I'm comfortable saying that. I think we can, you know, anything's possible.
Can you speak to some of the tactics? I know there's canine units and different things that are going on. Just what you guys are using to search this
Sure.
area?
So we've got, you know, 5-6 different agencies that are out there. We've got 50 plus folks. We've had drones in the air. We've got bloodhounds, canines, four-wheelers, side-by-sides, certainly out there. It's very wet.
Who's leading the search?
We are working in conjunction with the FBI to lead this investigation.
We saw airboats being used earlier. Is that part of the investigation as well?
Actually, I have not heard the word airboat. It's possible. This canal that runs, is that where you saw them right here in this canal? Yeah. So what they did is they started the search kind of in the park area. Certainly most of you are not familiar with this park. It's about 200 acres, and then there's a bridge which crosses over into the Carlton, which is about 25,000 acres. So the initial focus was on the 200 acres here, and then spreading out there.
Do you have an estimate of how long it would take to search the entire
Oh.
2,500?
I do not, but you can imagine a long time.
What do you need for this to become a criminal investigation?
I think we would need official confirmation of a crime.
And would you classify this as a grid search?
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
This
Folks
is where
outside of
he
Florida,
entered.
can you describe the conditions that your teams are in right now and will be in for the next?
It's muddy, it's wet. There are a few unpaved dirt roads that are out there basically running along power lines. you know, it's a place that people hike. There are mountain biking trails out there. The Myakkahatchee Creek runs from Myakka City, runs down basically into the city. It's also diverted along these man-made canals that are over here.
It's believed that he entered from here?
Correct.
Does Brian own a gun?
I cannot speak to that.
Is there any reason that people that live nearby or people that may be in the park should be concerned? Or what advice do you have for them?
Well, I mean, there's 50 law enforcement officers out here, so it's probably the safest place in Northport. I don't have any information that, you know, other people's lives are in danger.
Is the park closed to the public?
It is.
At the moment, do you believe Brian might be in danger?
Sure. I think that's fair to say. I mean, you have somebody, there's an enormous amount of pressure, I'm sure, on him to provide answers on what's going on here.
What was his emotional state when he left his parents' house?
I don't know.